Actually, hold on a second. It's okay, people. Nothing has changed. Except we have to look at this Oompa Loompa for the next 4 years. At which point, presumably, he'd be shot out of a cannon into the sun. Which would be nice.
We're gonna make America great again.
In light of the US election, here are some other ridiculous things our American cousins do.
1.
Calling a standard abseil knot the European death knot. The flat overhand, to give it its full title, is the go-to knot for sensible people looking to join 2 ropes to abseil on. However, when introduced to the flat overhand by their European counterparts, the Yanks recoiled in horror as they envisaged the whole system disintegrating when loaded. They instead opt for convoluted, over-engineered knots such as the double fisherman's, notorious for their snagging potential. Look, just leave a good foot of tail for any potential quarter inch of slippage and you're golden. Or, tie it back up. Or, I don't know, don't use the rope.
I'm gonna do it, obviously I'll just solo.
2.
Ridiculous anchors! My particular favourite useless anchor is the self-equalizing. Even in its simplest form, and I've seen some crazy complicated variations, a self-equalizing anchor is redundant. Here's why. The self-equalizing anchor. So, the theory being that no matter what direction the anchor is loaded in, it'll self-equalize. But in a fall, the direction of pull is going to be your last piece of protection, right? So why not just equalize it in the direction of your last piece of protection? You might say, but Brian, you've significantly reduced the strength of your sling with the addition of a knot. Well, I'm slightly more scared about the idea of a shock-loaded sling.
3.
The Yosemite Decimal System! This is a grading system that starts at 1 for light hill walking and ends at 6 for 8 climbing, with all of the actual climbing being squeezed into the 5 range. Keeping in mind 3 is hopping from boulder to boulder, occasionally using your hands. To fit all of the climbing into the 5s, the grading system goes 5-1, 5-2, 5-3, 5-4, 5-5, 5-6, 5-7, 5-8, 5-9, 510 A, 515 A, 515 B, 515 C, and beyond. But they don't seem to distinguish between sport and trad with these grades. And don't even get me started on bouldering. Can't we all just stick to a nice simple system like the British trad grading system? It starts with moderate, because there's nothing easy about even easy climbing. Then goes to difficult, very difficult, a very difficult that is hard, or hard very difficult if you will, then severe, hard severe, very severe, and hard very severe. Then we're into the easy to understand E grades, ranging from E1 to E11 with accompanying technical grades of 5A to 7B or thereabouts. But these technical grades don't translate into French sport climbing grade difficulties. Oh no, they're harder. So, 7A is about 8C+, not taking the potential exposure to bone-shattering death into account, as anything over an E5 pretty much means you're so run out you might as well be soloing. Or you're duct taping skyhooks to the wall. See? Simple!
I've done an amazing job.
Finally, probably the stupidest thing they do, allowing Europeans to come over and smash their hardest climbs. Adam Ondra has red-pointed the entirety of the Dawn Wall and is now preparing for the ground-up attempt. Maybe they should revoke his visa and deport him back where he came from. Or build a big wall. Although, presumably, he'd just flash it. That's it for our election special. Don't forget to stockpile canned goods and head for higher ground. Now piss off.